Hey you guys, I am finally back with another video. So this video was recorded last week. It was actually recorded on December, no, it was recorded December 23rd. When did I do her nails? Yeah, I think I recorded this December 22nd or December 23rd. So we are a couple days late, but I honestly just did not have time to record anything or do a voiceover, and I am still coughing. Y'all, I've already went to the hospital for this cough, and it just is not going away. Like he said, I probably had the flu or I probably had a respiratory infection or a viral infection, and when the symptoms of that went away, I basically am like left with the with the cough, and my cough can last like up to a month. So it's only been like 2 weeks that I have a cough, so I probably have like 2 more weeks to go, but it is getting a little better. It's just like constant and it's so annoying, you guys, like so annoying. So I am drinking a hot toddy tonight, you guys, and hopefully that helps. Like I really, really hope that it goes away. But anyway, we're getting into this set, and I might take a few pauses here and there just because like when I talk, I cough. So that is why you might hear sudden pauses. So today we're actually going to be doing a natural overlay. I have not done one of these in a very, very long time, you guys. Other than doing my mom's nails, I honestly don't do overlays too much. And I don't even do overlays on my mom's nails anymore. She actually has tips on. So this was the first time in a very, very long time. Y'all, I'm coughing so bad in between these little segments, and that's why my voice gets shaky and then I just go away. But anyway, I'm gonna try to make it through. But yeah, so we're doing a natural overlay on her nails, and as you can see, her nails are pretty long. I am gonna try to take you step by step through it as much as I can with talking. If I can't talk through some parts, I will just go ahead and notate stuff in the video for you. But I did go ahead and do a slight prep with a new cuticle bit that I have that I hate. I got it off of AliExpress and it's trash, so I'm not even going to link it because it didn't do anything for the nails really, or for the cuticles. I tried as much as I could, but I really didn't have time to go back over and do any more extensive prep. So I did just go ahead and use this sanding band. Her cuticles honestly weren't even that bad, so it was okay, but I did go back and use the sanding band just to really get anything else that was left to get the dead skin off of her nail. And I'm just sanding it to get all of the shine off as well. So every single step that you do for acrylic overlay on natural nails is going to be the same exact thing that you do if you are applying tips. The only thing that you're not going to do is apply the tips. So we are skipping applying the tips, obviously, and we're just going ahead and applying the prep system to her natural nail, the entire natural nail, because we will be putting acrylic on the entire natural nail. Sorry, some of this is out of frame. It's not going to be out of frame for very long. But what I do for the natural nail, what I do for the prep is the normal. We are just going to go ahead and with the dehydrator, which is just some alcohol. Then we're going to go in with the Mia Secret Extra Bond. And then we are going to go ahead with the No Lift Primer. So as you can see, I put the first bead down, and I believe we are using Valentino. Oh, yep, I know for sure. We're using Valentino Bad and Bougie. That is what she picked. I gave her a choice of some acrylic powders, and she picked Bad and Bougie. So that is what we went with, and I thought it was an excellent shade for the design that she is getting. The design is so pretty, you guys. So y'all will see that at the end, or you probably saw it in the thumbnail. So, but I placed down very, very, very medium to stiff beads. The reason being is because when you are doing an acrylic overlay on a natural nail, you basically have to mold the nail exactly how you want it. So you do not want your beads to be super wet to the point where they are dripping everywhere or they are going up underneath her natural nail. You want them to be pretty stiff or pretty, I would say pretty still not too stiff to the point where you can't move it, but you definitely do not want it to be loose. You do not want your beads to be wet. So as you can see right here, I'm placing it down and I kind of wiggled it a minute just to make sure that it's not going to spread too much when I let go of the bead. And when you are wiggling it, or just simply keeping the bead on the nail and the brush is still intact with the bead for just a split second, or maybe 2 seconds, maybe 2 to 3 seconds, that is letting your bead dry a little bit, or cure, I should say. So that is what I was doing when you saw me kind of wiggle my brush when it was still intact with the bead or the acrylic. That is what you saw me doing if you were wondering what that was. I was just trying to get my acrylic to set a little bit before actually taking my brush off of the bead, because I wanted it to be a little more stiff than runny. I did not want it to move anywhere. I wanted to be able to guide it. So what you're going to do, if their nails are not this long, you're going to see what I'm going to do on the pointer finger. But as of right now, her nails are so long to the point where it's kind of like there's already a tip applied. Not too much, but almost like a shorty. So I'm just using her nails as a guide. Basically, that's all you're doing. Just envision, I know people overthink acrylic overlays, but honestly, if you can do shorties, or, you know, like do anything with a tip, then you're fine. Like, it's literally the same thing. You just have to envision in your head that you already have a guide. That's really what it is. I think that's what really psychs people out about it. Like right here, I'm just going ahead and I'm acting like there's more tip there. I'm bringing it directly out. Not going to press down too much on the free edge, just because I do not want the acrylic to kind of dip down. You want it to stay straight. So that's all I do. Like, it's really something that you have to watch, I think, more so than somebody explaining it. But the main thing that I can say is your liquid to powder ratio is going to be a key factor. And I always refer people back to this video. I will post it above right here. If you are having trouble with that, I think that that's a huge thing, especially for acrylic overlays on the natural nail. Like, that's something that you're definitely going to have to get used to before you could ever accomplish something like this. Because if you have a runny bead, baby, it's not going to work. I promise you, it's not going to work. It might be a little easier to do it. This bead was way too big. I did not need that much acrylic, so I don't even know why I did that. But you're going to see how I control it a little bit. I'm basically just putting it back on top of the nail. I'm patting it down. I am going to have to like reshape this nail a little bit, just because I added so much that I didn't need to add. But I'm just patting. And you guys know that Valentino V Beauty Pure acrylics dry fairly quickly. But yeah, that it's just a good, I feel like this is the best formula to use for an acrylic overlay, because you do not want a slow setting powder for acrylic overlays. I'm trying to tell you, like, you do not want a slow setting powder. And the same thing will go with toes. If you are doing acrylic toes, there is not much space on the toenails, so you're not going to want a super slow setting powder. You're definitely going to want to use something like Valentino, or just add a little bit of acetone to your monomer if you are using anything else that is not as fast setting. But like I was saying before I went into that whole spill, you definitely want to work on your liquid to powder ratio, because that is what's going to help you control your beads when you are doing acrylic overlays. And that is what's going to enable you to actually drag and bring your bead out. So just work on that, you guys. Like, even right here, you see how I messed up and I straightened it back up? I was able to do that because the bead is not runny, but the bead is also not too dry to the point where I can't mold it anymore. So you just have to know what you're working with and your liquid to powder ratio, and that will help tremendously. Like, I promise y'all. Just like any other set, you are going to fill in any gaps that you see, any blank spaces that You can see the natural nail through. Just go ahead and fill that in with more acrylic just to make sure that everything is covered. You will go back and seal everything with a 5-in-1 bit. At least that's what I use. And just straighten or even everything out afterwards. So don't worry if it's too bulky right now. That is something that you'll perfect, you know, as you go or as you do more acrylic overlays. But I try to make my acrylic overlays as thin as possible. This one was probably the most bulky one that I had just because I messed up and I did have to kind of straighten it up with more acrylic. But when I took my file and my drill bits, I did go ahead and debulk the nail to the thickness that I needed it to be, and it was fine. As you can see from the side, it might not even seem thick to y'all. It was a little thick to me just because they're super short. But yeah, super easy, you guys. Like, I promise you, if you can like just glance at the consistency that I am putting the beads down at, that is what you need. You see that it's not running anywhere. It's almost like Play-Doh. Like, if you think of Play-Doh, it kind of looks like Play-Doh or gum. That is the consistency that you're going to want it to be, but you also want to work with an acrylic that is not going to dry as soon as it hits the nail. You want to work with something that is going to dry a little faster, but not so fast that you can't work with it. So I always suggest either Valentino, or I would suggest definitely using like 876, not polish, what's some other ones, acrylics, and adding a little bit of acetone to your monomer, and it will work just the same as how Valentino works. Also, chisel, if you are not if you don't have or never used chisel before, highly recommend you use that for acrylic overlays and toes as well, because they are a faster drying acrylic. And I just feel like some acrylics work better for certain things. So even though I love 876 and I love not polish, I just feel like certain acrylics work better for certain things. So I personally would not suggest using slower drying acrylic powders for acrylic overlays. It's just not going to work as well. You're not going to go as fast. And it's just easier, honestly, to use acrylics like this. Now, of course, you can use other acrylics that are slower setting. But like I said, also, I work a little faster now. So I just like for things to dry a little faster. So that's just my personal preference as well. But anyway, I'm going ahead and sealing the cuticles. I am taking a 5-in-1 bit. This is actually a medium grit 5-in-1 bit, I believe. I don't use it too often, but I've been using it lately. And just because my fine and extra fine bits are really fine now, because I've been using them for so long, so they don't really do too much anymore. So I started using this one on the cuticle area, and it's been working fine for me. I am just going to go ahead and seal the cuticles, and while I'm sealing the cuticles, I am going to go ahead and debulk this nail that we did make a little bulky earlier. I am not going to worry about cleaning the underside of the nail right now. I'm definitely going to use a sanding band to clean the underside of the nail. I just like using a sanding band versus one of these bits, because I feel like the sanding band grips and molds to the underside of the nail a little better, and it just creates a better shape and a better C curve underneath the nail. So that is what I use for, you know, like filing underneath the nail at the end. Now, I know this is a little out of frame, and I do apologize for that again. I don't even know like what I do sometimes to get the hands out of frame. Like, I'm so over it. You would think that by now everything would be picture perfect with as much as I record, but I was just moving so fast with these nails that I wasn't even paying attention towards the end. But anyway, I am using another drill bit, and this is, I don't know the name of this drill bit. I know it's a carbide bit, but I do have it linked in my Amazon storefront if you were looking for any bits that I'm using. This bit I have been using lately just to smooth out the entire nail, and it has been working so fabulous for me. I love it so much more than using a 5-in-1 bit, just because the 5-in-1 bit does not smooth the nail how I need it to be for some reason. And it doesn't matter what grit I use, it just doesn't smooth the nail how this smooths the nail. So this is what I've been using, and directly after I use this, I don't even really go over the entire nail with an 88 grit file or a 100 grit file anymore. I just kind of straight go into filing the sides, and then I buff, or I will buff and then file the sides. It just depends on what I feel like doing. But so yeah, I don't think I go over top of the nails with this file, but I might. But most of the time I don't if I'm using the last drill bit that you just saw me use, just because the nails are super smooth after I use it. And I definitely highly recommend adding that one to your drill bit collection. So honestly, after I did all of the application wasn't even that bad. So I knew I wasn't going to have to do too much filing anyway. And then after I did seal the cuticles and just smooth out the nail, I was like, these are so like perfect. Like they were so cute, y'all. Like when I tell you they were so pretty after filing them, like just filing the tips like how I'm doing right now, I was like, oh my gosh, like these are better than shorties. I mean, they are shorties, but like, I don't know. It was just so satisfying to see an acrylic overlay on natural, like a natural acrylic overlay on these nails. It was just so satisfying. So yeah, they came out really, really cute. I'm glad I chose to do this because she really didn't need tips. I feel like a lot of times people don't need tips when they want a short set. If you know how to do acrylic overlay, just save your tips. Like there's really no point. If you are not comfortable with doing an acrylic overlay, I would definitely suggest working with, what is it? Oh my God, why can't I'm having a brain fart. What's the name? Y'all know what forms. If you are not okay with using, nothing, like no guide at all, except for their nails, I would definitely recommend using some forms or getting used to forms. That way you won't have to purchase tips. Tips are actually kind of expensive once you have to keep purchasing them and repurchasing. Forms are not expensive at all. You get a whole bunch in a pack. So yeah, and they're good to learn to do anyway, because there are people who come with like almost no nail at all, and you're not going to be able to adhere a tip onto their nails. So it's always good to really know. In my nail school, we did learn how to use forms. I don't know if they teach that in every nail school, because that is not something that you do for state board. However, I definitely recommend that you get familiarized with it, because this is a great tool to have. And you can just do a lot of things with knowing how to use forms. Like even if they break a nail, or if something goes wrong during the application, like before this part, I'm sorry, I just needed y'all to see an up close and personal of how they looked before we did anything else, before we did any nail art. But like I was saying, even if they broke a nail or something, or the application didn't come out the way you wanted it to, and maybe one nail is shorter than all the other nails, you can go ahead and use a form to add acrylic to that nail and make it the same length as the other one. So those are just tips and tricks on why I think you should still learn how to do forms. Even if you think that you'll never use them, you might need them for something. So always a good always a good tool to have, and always something good to know how to do. So definitely keep that in mind and practice. So now this is a little sped up just because it's nail art, and it did take a little while to do, but this is just abstract. She told me that she wanted black, and she told me that she wanted like some glitter. I can't remember, she said glitter or like something shiny. So we were trying to figure out what colors we wanted, but she said black. and she did that because she wanted it to be neutral with whatever she wore in her outfit for Christmas and her birthday. So I was like, yeah, let's just stick to black. I'll do some abstract, and then we can add something to spice it up a little bit. So we did go ahead, after the abstract, we did go ahead and add some glitter, like some holographic almost gel polish to this set, and it was so freaking cute, y'all. Like, I love this set so much, but yeah, I'm just gonna let the rest of this play out. I hope that I don't know, I was probably all over the place with the video, as I always am, but I hope I gave some informative information as far as like how to at least start to do acrylic overlays. I know I don't think I really explained too much in my initial acrylic overlay video. I will link that above as well, up here. I made it almost 2 years ago, I think, and it ended up going pretty viral. Well, viral for me, I'll say. So that's actually my highest viewed video on my channel, is an acrylic overlay, which is crazy. Like, so crazy that that would be my highest viewed video, but whatever. But anyway, I'm just gonna let you guys watch these abstract lines and watch me do some line work and some artwork, and then I will come back in when we are all done and say bye to y'all. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this set, and yeah, I'll be back in a sec. So I definitely thought that I showed what polishes I used in this video, but I know for sure the black was Madam Glam, Perfect Black, and I know the glitters I mixed and they were both from Madam Glam, so I will link those down below if you want to use my code in the description box to go ahead and purchase those colors. But so pretty. They were two holographic colors that I mixed. One was like a goldish color and one was like a silver color. But I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I hope you guys make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next one. I love y'all so much. Mwah. Bye.